colleagues, and students. Welcome to today's session, COVID-19 and Oral and Systemic Mycosis, which is curated by Asian Society of Oral and Maxillofacial Pathology under the dynamic leadership of Dr. Kate Ranganathan, who's the Honorary President of Asian Society of Oral and Maxillofacial Pathology. It has been around 1.5 years since COVID pandemic engulfed the whole world, and the associated superinfections such as mucormycosis or the black fungus disease has also led to renewed interest in the rapidly escalating fungal infections. To discuss and deliberate on the dreaded mycosis, we have with us today the foremost authority on oral fungal infections, Professor Lakshman Samaranayake, who's Professor Emeritus of Microbiomics, an internationally renowned clinical academic with expertise in diagnostic clinical microbiology and research, who has received numerous accolades for his research and contribution to dentistry. The presentation will review the current data on systemic and oral fungal diseases and their relevance on the clinical and dental practice today. Today's session is chaired by Professor W.M. Tilakratne, who's the past president of International Association of Oral Pathologists and founder, member, and advisor of Asian Society of Oral and Maxillofacial Pathology. I now invite the Honorary President, Dr. Ranganathan, for the welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Simapri. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you, in whichever part of the world you have logged in from. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Asian Society of Oral and Maxillofacial Pathology to extend a warm welcome to you all to this session. Keep on to be talking about a very, very important topic, namely mucormycosis, in the setting of the current pandemic. And it's indeed an honor to have a leading expert in microbiology who's going to address this gathering and share with us his experience. I'm sure it's going to be very useful to all of you. A warm welcome to you, Professor Lakshman Samaranayake, and to the chairperson, Professor Tilakratne. With this brief welcome, let me hand over the mic to Professor Tilakratne, who's the chairperson for this session.
Thank you very much, Professor Ranganathan, and of course, Dr. Simaprit. Yes, as Dr. Simaprit said, I think we are in a lockdown in the whole world for 1.5 years. But despite that, we managed to have a lot of continuing education programs all around the world. Actually, to tell you the truth, I think more than what we had in the non-pandemic era. Because you can listen to any of the world experts in any given week or month. So that's an advantage. That's a good side of COVID, right? So we, in other words, the flip side of COVID. So where we created a lot of opportunities, etc. Now, I'm happy that Asian Society of Oral and Maxillofacial Pathology has taken a lot of steps to disseminate the knowledge to our members and other relevant clinical dental academics and the clinicians. So that's a very good initiative that the ASOMP has taken. While thanking both the President, Secretary, and the committee, let me start the proceedings. Now, my main task today is to introduce Professor Lakshman Samaranayake, our good friend for many decades. I'm very sure that Professor Samaranayake does not need any introduction to this forum, for that matter, any international forum. However, as a formality, let me introduce him. But I'm again telling you, if I want to read his CV, I need more than a couple of hours. Professor Lakshman Samaranayake carries so many degrees and professional qualifications at the end of his name, including the highest academic degree, the DSc from University of Peradeniya. In addition, he has DDS, FRC PAT, FDS RCS, and various other degrees that you all are aware of. Professor Samaranayake is an internationally renowned clinical academic with expertise in microbiomics, that is his main area, clinical research, and more importantly, that most people do not have when it comes to research, is the senior executive level administrative experience. And also he has a lot of interest and he has done a lot of work on dental pedagogy. Now, he is one of those dental academics in the world where publication is, when it comes to publication, it's enormous, it's very regular throughout last few decades. He has published over 450 scientific papers. So that's a massive number. And to make the value of those publications, those papers have been cited by more than 27,000 times by others. With the H index of 90, which is, I don't know any other dental academic, there may be very few, if at all, in the world having H index of 90. He was the dean of two main dental schools in the world, University of Hong Kong, where he completed 2 terms, and he managed to uplift the standards of Hong Kong dental school within his 2 terms to become the #1 ranked dental school in the world. That is quite an achievement. And also, he spent 1 term of deanship at Brisbane, Australia. Now, what is more specific about Professor Samaranayake is his affinity and ability and enormous amount of work towards the oral fungal infections. Now, he has published more than 350 papers on oral fungal infections. I think the second highest person probably is not even close to. He is considered as the foremost international authority on oral microbiome. So he's a very highly sought after speaker. I have seen him in many international fora, and he has addressed professional bodies in over 40 countries and received numerous accolades for his research, including the King James IV Professorship of Royal College of Surgeons of Edinburgh, and also a rare award for somebody to receive is the Distinguished Scientist Award of the International Association of Dental Research, IADR award. And despite the restrictions during last 1.5 years due to COVID, he has published 25 articles on COVID-19 only, right? So that speaks his research capacity and his dedication to the subject of microbiology in particular. Without taking much of time, I can talk on for hours on his achievement and his ability in the field. But without taking much of your time, let me invite Professor Lakshman Samaranayake to speak to us on COVID-19 and oral and systemic mycosis. Thank you very much, Professor Lakshman Samaranayake, for taking time to educate us. It's all yours now, Sam. Over to you.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the colleagues who are listening from different parts of the world. And it is, I'm honored to be at this presentation of IAOMP. And I think I have spoken at these events before at the international, there are international meetings, but this is the first webinar I am giving to you through the auspices of IAOMP. So it is my duty, first of all, to thank Professor Ranganathan, who is the president of the IAOMP, and the secretary, Dr. Simaprit, who have kindly invited me for this, to do this webinar. And of course, my dear colleague, Professor Tilakaratne, we from Sri Lanka, and thank you so much, Tilak, for that effusive, description of my work. And I am honored, frankly honored, to be amongst you guys, and with a dedicated lot of pathologists and microbiologists, and of course all the colleagues who are all over the world, who have been my staff and students and mentors and mentees all throughout the last 40 odd years. Again, it's a great honor for me to address you all, and hopefully, inculcate some new knowledge about these nasty fungi, which are now, creating some, I think I would say, havoc amongst the COVID-19 patients who are COVID infected.